Welcome. In this video, I'm going to be reviewing and backtesting for 100 trades in a row, one of the most popular trading strategy videos on YouTube. Made by Trading Lab, this is called Best MACD Trading Strategy, 86% win rate, has 2.6 million views, making it one of the most watched trading strategy videos of all time on YouTube. So very interesting. I went through, watched the video by Trading Lab, and made sure I understood the strategy, all the rules to it. They claim the 86% win rate, but I'm going to guess before doing the testing that it's not going to come anywhere near that. I'm going to guess around 60%, give or take a few percent on either side, depending on the price data that's tested. But we will see, because I'm going to be backtesting it for 100 trades in a row. So that's my opinion. Just based on watching the strategy, having tested hundreds of strategies myself in the past, knowing a lot about the markets, and just kind of knowing what to expect in general, having a pretty good sense of the market. So based on the strategy rules that he presented, I'm guessing around 60%, give or take a couple percent, either one way or another. So we're going to see the real results. It could be much higher, it could be lower. They claim 86% in the title here. And so in the video, he does say that this strategy will make money. And I actually will agree with that. So I do think this strategy is profitable. I think it's going to make money. In my back test, I think it's going to be all right. I think it'll do pretty well. So I agree with him on that. He says this strategy is one of the highest win rate strategies that you can trade with, or he says something along those lines in the video. You can watch his video on it. Don't want to put words in his mouth, but that's pretty much what he says. Is it's one of the highest win rate trading strategies that you can use. I'm going to disagree with that, but we will see. I'm going to test it. I'm just kind of doing predictions right now based on the strategy, just my thoughts. But anyway, I'm going to test it. We're going to go over to my chart, and I'll show you the exact setup, what it looks like, what the rules to the strategy are. So I'll just go through a few trade setup examples so that you can understand what I'm back testing. Then I'm going to fast forward through the 100 back tests and show you all the data to see what this strategy really can do. Now, before getting into the explanation of the strategy, quick shout out to my affiliates, exchanges, BingX and BitNex exchange. This one's great. BingX for trading a variety of markets. If you want to trade crypto, forex, indices, commodities, all in one exchange, these guys have it all. They have a bunch of new user bonuses that you can get. So check them out if you're interested. If you can't use most exchanges though, and you need to deal with VPNs, KYC, and you're in a country where it's very difficult to access most exchanges, then BitNex is the one for you. They're allowing all customers globally, no KYC needed, no VPN needed. Check them out. And they also have a bunch of new user bonuses that you can get when you sign up and do some of the tasks. Now, that's it for the shout out to my affiliates. Would appreciate if you guys use those. Now let's talk about this strategy and the setup. So the strategy is very simple. Let's talk about the different components. We have a couple of things. First of all, we have the 200 EMA. So that's going to be for the trend direction. We only want to trade long when price is over the 200 EMA. Only want to trade short when price is below the 200 EMA. And then we also have a standard MACD. Here are the basic settings there. You can watch his video too, of course. Go ahead and watch Trading Lab's video breaking everything down. I'm just going to show you here, because then you can see exactly how I'm testing it. So those things are pretty simple. The MACD is going to be used for our entry trigger, and we're only going to long when the MACD crosses up from below the zero line. Only going to short if MACD crosses down from above the zero line. Okay, so cross up from below the zero line, long signal. Cross down from above the zero line, short signal. But those two factors are not the only conditions here. We also add in the support level. So there's a specific condition that he explains in the video to improve the results of that basic strategy. And this is what he's saying is going to make the difference. So we need to have a support level that is tested, and then we see a reaction at that level, a bounce off that level. So for instance, support level, he uses the candle body, so I'm going to do the same thing. And I'm I'm going to be using an indicator, the Trade Pro market structure indicator, to determine what constitutes a support level. So I'm looking for untapped short-term swing lows as marked by untapped arrows here. So a short-term swing low is marked by these arrows, short-term swing high marked with the arrow above the candle. So when a pullback begins, such as where we start a pullback right here, we see we have a short-term swing high. I'm looking for untapped lows that are short-term swing lows to the left of that. Okay, so we have one short-term swing low right here, and we have one right here. Now, price comes down, and on this push down, we take out both of those levels. So both of those are considered support levels, but we're going to be defaulting if a candle just takes out multiple. In one, we're defaulting to the lowest one, and that's our support level. It's going to be the wick, the bottom of the wick to the candle body. So these two lines, those represent our support level, okay? So it's a very rigid rules-based way of determining what's our support and resistant levels, because he doesn't explain that in his video. He shows one example about a support, and he actually doesn't even show the support level. So let's kind of talk about the exact entry here now. So after we get that bounce off of a support level, so we see that here, wicks through that support, we bounce up, and then we need to see it retest that level. Okay, so we pull back again, retest that level, and once we do that, we are looking for that cross up on the MACD from below the zero line for a buy, as long as we're still over that 200 EMA. And so we get that. This cross up here from below the zero line on this candle, that's going to be our entry for this specific setup. Now, in his video, he says stop loss goes to the 200 period exponential moving average. Because we're already on top of it, going up and down on top of it, I'm just going to be going to the low of the current pullback that we're trading, okay, for this type of setup. If we were way over the 200 EMA, then I'll just do his standard 200 EMA stop loss. But for this setup, we're going to be doing it like this, and then using a 1 to 1.5 risk to reward ratio for the profit target, as he explains in his video. So that is the full strategy, and that's the full setup right there. This one ends up being success. So let's move on to a next possible setup that meets the criteria. So we go over here, we actually get into another pullback. We're still over the 200 EMA, right? So we're looking for that support level now. We want to see this pull back to a support and then bounce and retest it while we have our MACD crossing up from below the zero line. So we have a support right here, short-term swing low. Notice how we get the little green arrow there. It's a short-term swing low that's untapped. It's to the left of where our pullback began up here. We have another one right here, and there's another one down here. So let's see what actually happens. Well, we come to the downside here. We take out this first level, first support level, and we break below it. We don't have any valid setup there, so good, we didn't buy there. Here's our next one, which we come down to. And so remember, we're doing the bottom of the wick to the body. This is our support area here. So this is the one that we get the setup on. So we can ignore this one here because we never got the setup there. This one we get the setup. So here's our support level based on the strategy rules that I presented here. We come down to that level, we get a bounce, right? We come back down to retest it, and our MACD is below the zero line, crosses up from below the zero line. That is our trigger to go long right here. So there's our support, retesting the support after the bounce, and then our cross up from below the zero line. Now this time we can use his standard stop loss placement that he presented in his video, which is the 200 EMA. And then 1 to 1.5 risk to reward ratio. This one is a success as well. So there's the setup there. Let's move on to another. So over here, we kind of get crazy with the price action. We go below the 200 EMA, then back over it. So we're back into a new trend here, back over the 200 EMA. Let's take a look. Looking for a pullback that takes out some untapped lows, which is going to be our support levels. So we can see here, we sweep that low. So this is kind of our support region here. All right. So we come up, reclaim that level, kind of don't really need this. So we bounce up, come back down and cross back up again from below here. So we retest, come back up, reclaim that level, the support, go and retest it again. We get some wicks off of it and then curl back up with our momentum crossing up from below the 0 line. So it's another valid long. Reclaimed our support. We're over the 200 EMA. Here is the 200 EMA stop loss as he recommends in his video. So there is the setup right there. Okay. So hopefully it makes sense. We're just looking for these untapped swing lows that are going to be our support levels that are to the left of where the pullback begins. So we want to see price come down there, find a bounce off of that level or around that level, come back again, and then find that our momentum shifts to the upside with our cross to the upside on the MACD from below the 0 line on after that retest. So that is the strategy. That's a full strategy. Please go watch his video. You'll see that what I'm demonstrating here is exactly what's presented in his video. So now, don't really need to go and show too many more examples because I'm about to do 100 back tests in a row. So I'm going to back test it 100 times. Let's talk about the results after I fast forward through those tests. All right, back test is done. Let's talk about the results here. This was tested on Bitcoin against the US dollar, 15-minute time frame, tested 100 trades in a row. It took 11 months of price data to find those 100 back tests using a 1 to 1.5 risk to reward ratio for every single setup. Out of those 100, we had 55 winning trades, 45 losing trades, giving it a 55% win rate, which is very far off of the claimed 86% win rate, which would be insane if it had an 86% win rate. In fact, I don't think there is any strategy that uses a strict 1 to 1.5 risk to reward ratio and has an 86% win rate. I do not believe it exists anywhere, no matter what the strategy is. So I don't know where he got that number, but I'd be interested to see. Maybe he tested it on some perfect sample of price data that had an 86% win rate, or he just made it up. I don't know. I'm just putting ideas out there, not claiming anything about the, that 86% number, because I just don't know. So no idea where that came from. As I said, I predicted it would be around 60% on the win rate figure. 55, pretty close to that. I guess that on a different sample of price data, we'll see 60%. We might see 50%. Depends on the sample of price data, but it did come out profitable. So that was right as well. Did make money. Longest winning streak that I saw there was 11. Longest losing streak was 9. Gain on the account, if risking 1% per trade, 37.5% gain on the account, which makes it a very average strategy. So it's decent, it's fine, it's pretty average. Nothing super crazy or special with the results here. it's kind of where things typically fall when I test a strategy. Remember, I've tested hundreds of strategies, and typically these 1 to 1.5 risk to reward ratio strategies fall around this range if they're pretty normal, average, decent strategies. So that's the result. Not 86%, but still was profitable. Decent strategy, so can't knock it if it makes money. Still pretty good. Anyway, that's it for this video. Thanks guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video, and check out my affiliate links if you're interested in a trading exchange.